The Princess Royal was given a full tour of the new radar system, which has cost £500,000. The modern facilities have full daylight viewing, so that operators no longer have to work in a darkened room. Princess Anne unveiled a plaque to commemorate the occasion, and then she inaugurated the harbour surveillance system with a call to all vessels in the Solent.
All ships, this is Southampton VTS. I'm very pleased to be inaugurating Southampton's new Vessel Traffic Services Centre.
The port authorities say the new radar will add to safety in the Solent.
We like ships to report, and all commercial and warship activity in the harbour does respond, and they do report. There are a lot of casual users, leisure craft and yachts and powerboats that operate without calling, and whilst we wouldn't want them all to call and ask, we would like them to be listening so that they know of our major ship movements.
The Princess Royal was herself able to get out on the Solent, making her first trip in a Class 1 powerboat. Her outing was a preview for a powerboat challenge race in aid of Monitor, a charity for research into motor neuron disease. One of Monitor's founder members, the athlete Seb Coe, turned out in support.
The centrepiece of our activity is a computer and database that we've set up in conjunction with Brunel University, so that those that suffer with the disease and the relatives and friends of those that have suffered with the disease are able to pool their information, their knowledge of the disease from the practical terms of often having to look after relatives, pool that kind of information on a centrally based computer.
Pop stars, comedians and various other familiar faces gathered for a full briefing before the celebrity races began. Although only for fun, some were taking the races rather seriously. The Class 1 boats were revved up to more than 70 miles an hour, with amateurs at the helm.
And it's still Pierre Magnet trying to get back on terms, but I don't think he's going to do it, although he's coming very, very quickly indeed. It could be to make it the finish, but it looks like Richard Vaughan, or was it indeed at the end Stephen Burrell? There will have to be a photograph of that.
And the photo proved it was a surprise win for South Today, making our own Richard Vaughan a powerboat champion.
Well done, teammate. We won, great. We won. Tremendous stuff.
South Today winners, you enjoyed that, didn't you?
Yeah, I won my heat too, but missed the semi-final.
Not to worry. Well, I'm sure Bruce won't mind me saying, but the professional powerboat drivers were also in action over the weekend in Southampton. With a look at their successes and a near disaster, plus news of soccer and athletics, here's Bob Everett.
Well, the climax of the Southampton Powerboating Festival saw various national championships decided on Sunday, and the World 1.3 litre title settled on Saturday. Sunday's racing was marred by a nasty accident, but Saturday's event was pretty plain sailing for the favourites. Conditions weren't ideal for the competitors, bumpy and choppy as they sped off along the Solent on their 3-lap 45-minute journey. British boats were filling the minor placings, but Finland are the experts in the field, and their team of Jan Hagland and Dick Collin in Finacat had a big lead in the overall championship. Hagland and Collin had only to finish in the top half dozen to make sure they lifted the title. Ultimately, they did that with plenty to spare, though they couldn't add to it victory on the day. That went to their Finnish teammates Petri Jokinen and Vesa Kotisoja in Argocat. Sunday provided a salutary example of how dangerous powerboating can be, with a crash involving the pool-based John Yeoman. This was the damage done to his catamaran Unipart Lambs, in which he's already won the World Series Class 2 Championship this year. Yeoman himself was the only casualty. He escaped with a smashed knee. He and the crew were lucky. The boat almost turned over after hitting a ship's wake, was itself hit by another competitor and eventually capsized. Lucky escape indeed.